Good evening, dear students. Today, under Chapter 8 Human Health and Diseases, we are going to discuss the topic AIDS. So, let's begin. What is AIDS? AIDS stands for Acquired Immunodeficiency Syndrome. This disease was first reported in 1981. It is caused by a virus known as Human Immunodeficiency Virus or HIV. HIV is a retrovirus. Why it is called so? Because in this virus, its genome is made up of RNA. So it is having two copies of single-stranded RNA in its core along with an enzyme reverse transcriptase. Coming to the mode of transmission. HIV virus, it is found in the blood and blood products as well as it is present in the genital secretion. So, first transmission may be through sexual contact with an HIV infected person or by transfusion of contaminated blood and blood products, by sharing infected needles as in case of intravenous drug abusers, or from infected mother to her child through placenta. Let's see how it causes the disease. So as I said that HIV is a retrovirus. Inside the capsid, protein capsid, there is present RNA genome and reverse transcriptase enzyme. Once the HIV virus enters in our body through blood, it first attacks the macrophages present in the blood. So, viral RNA is introduced into the cell. Reverse transcriptase enzyme which is present, it converts this viral RNA into DNA. This DNA is then, it is moving into the nucleus and it integrates with the host DNA. And it becomes the part of host cell genome. Now, along with the host cell genome, the viral DNA, it is also getting transcribed and translated. So, several new viruses are produced inside the macrophages. Macrophages, thus, they become the factory of HIV virus. These viruses, they leave macrophages and then they attack the second type of cells, that is T helper lymphocyte. Similar type of infection occurs and they causes the rupture of the T helper lymphocyte. These T helper lymphocytes, they are very important because they stimulate B lymphocytes to produce antibodies. So this leads to the irreversible breakdown of the person's immune system. Okay. Now, slowly as the disease is progressing, as the virus keep on multiplying inside the host body, it keeps on damaging the T helper lymphocytes and macrophages. So their number goes on decreasing and due to that, the person becomes highly susceptible to the diseases which otherwise do not occur in a person, like the disease caused by bacteria, mycobacterium, viruses, fungi, and even parasite like toxoplasm. So these pathogens, they normally are not able to cause infection in our body because of our strong immune system. But an AIDS patient can easily suffer from the disease caused by these pathogens as their immunity is damaged due to HIV virus. Now, this paragraph which is given in the book, it is dealing with the all the stages how the infection progresses in our body. Okay, so through the schematic, this is called schematic representation. Okay, which shows the replication of retrovirus in our body. तो इसके थ्रू आप खुद अपना आंसर फ्रेम कर सकते हैं. Let's move on. Now, who are the people who are at high risk of contracting the HIV virus? So these are the people who are having multiple sexual partners and drug addicts who take drug intravenously. So ऐसे जो drug addicts होते हैं वो अपनी syringes share करते हैं. So there is chance of getting infection. Individuals who required repeated blood transfusion and children born to an HIV infected. Okay, now if suppose a person gets infected with HIV virus, that doesn't mean the person is suffering from the disease AIDS. The person will be HIV positive. There is a time lag, a time gap is there between the infection and appearance of AIDS symptom, and this time lag is known as incubation period, which is 5 to 10 years. So कुछ लोगों में 5 years में AIDS हो जाता है, कुछ लोगों में it might take 10 years, and then the person shows the symptoms of AIDS like weight loss, fever, fatigue, etc. For diagnosing whether if a person is suspected of having HIV infection, the infection can be detected with the help of ELISA and PCR. Okay, ELISA is enzyme linked immunosorbent assay. For treatment, antiretroviral drugs are given. These drugs, they slow down the multiplication of HIV virus, but they are not providing the complete cure of the disease. AIDS, how it can be prevented. So, a person should avoid having sex with multiple partners, and unprotected sexual practices should be avoided. Sharing of needles, like by intravenous drug addicts, should be avoided, etc. Now, in our country, there is an organization that is NACO, National AIDS Control Organization, and there are other non governmental organizations, NGOs, which are educating the people about AIDS, how it is getting transmitted, and how it can be prevented from spreading. Now, what are the steps taken by WHO? WHO ने क्या स्टेप्स लिए हैं? पहला, जब भी ब्लड बैंक में कलेक्ट होता है तो इट इज फर्स्ट स्क्रीन बिफोर कलेक्टिंग द ब्लड फ्रॉम अ डोनर, इट इज फर्स्ट screen for HIV infection. Then, in all public and private hospitals and clinics, the disposable needles and syringes are in use. There is free distribution of condoms, controlling drug abuse, and advocating safe sex and promoting regular checkups for HIV in susceptible populations. So these are some of the steps which are taken by WHO. So ये भी आप याद कर लेंगे. Next, now coming to the questions which are asked from this topic. First, name the cells that acts as HIV factory in human and infected by HIV. ठीक है, तो आपको बताना है उन सेल्स का नाम जो HIV फैक्ट्री की तरह एक्ट करते हैं जब ह्यूमंस में HIV इन्फेक्शन होता है. तो सबसे पहले मैक्रोफेजेस, दे आर एक्टिंग एज, क्योंकि प्राइमरी सेल्स हैं मैक्रोफेजेस. उसके बाद में टी हेल्पर सेल्स आर आल्सो एक्टिंग एज HIV फैक्ट्री. एक्सप्लेन द इवेंट्स दैट अकर इन द इन्फेक्टेड सेल. तो जो आपका पूरा स्कीमेटिक डायग्राम था, जो फ्लो चार्ट था, उसको आप एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हो यहाँ पर. नेक्स्ट, नेम, और द क्वेश्चन कैन बी आस्क्ड लाइक दिस, नेम द टाइप ऑफ सेल्स the AIDS virus first enters into after getting inside the human body. तो इन दो क्वेश्चन में डिफरेंस आप देखोगे कि यहाँ पे पूछा है नेम द सेल्स दैट एक्ट एज HIV फैक्ट्री when humans are infected by HIV. तो इसमें दोनों आ जाएंगे, मैक्रोफेजेस एंड HIV. लेकिन यहाँ पे पूछा है कि नेम द टाइप ऑफ सेल्स द एड्स वायरस फर्स्ट एंटर, सबसे पहले किस में एंटर होता है, तो यहाँ आंसर सिर्फ आएगा मैक्रोफेजेस. ठीक है. सो अगर क्वेश्चन ऐसे है तो आप लिखोगे मैक्रोफेजेस. इन दिस केस यू कैन राइट बोथ मैक्रोफेजेस एंड हेल्पर टी. virus. Explain the sequence of event that the virus undergoes. That is same. To increase their progeny, so virus enters into macrophages or helper T cells. Their RNA genome forms a viral DNA with the help of reverse transcriptase. फिर जो viral DNA है वो incorporate हो जाएगा host cell के DNA में and directs infected cell to produce new virus. Question number 2. What precautions would you recommend to a patient requiring repeated blood transfusion? जैसे थैलेसीमिया का केस में बार बार ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन करना पड़ता है, तो आप ऐसे पेशेंट को क्या प्रिकॉशन लेने के लिए कहोगे? ठीक है, सो such patient must ensure that the donor's blood has been screened for HIV and other pathogens before transfusion. सो अगर ब्लड बैंक से हम ब्लड ले रहे हैं तो पहले ये देखना है कि जो ब्लड है वो जनरली ब्लड बैंक्स दे स्क्रीन द ब्लड, बट इफ any known donor is there who on the spot wants to donate the blood, then the patient must ensure that the donor's blood must be screened for HIV and other pathogens. B. If the advice is not followed by the patient, there is an apprehension that the patient might contract a disease that would destroy the immune system of his or her body. अगर पेशेंट एडवाइस फॉलो इफ द एडवाइस इज नॉट फॉलोड बाय द पेशेंट, या फॉलो नहीं कर रहा है एडवाइस, तो हो सकता है कि पेशेंट को वो डिजीज हो जाए विच विल डिस्ट्रॉय हिज और हर बॉडी. Explain with the help of schematic diagram only how the immune system would get affected and destroyed. आपको स्कीमैटिक डायग्राम, यहाँ कुछ लिखना नहीं है, डायग्राम के थ्रू आपको बताना है, स्कीमैटिक डायग्राम के थ्रू, कि कैसे उस पेशेंट का जो इम्यून सिस्टम है वो इफेक्ट होगा और डिस्ट्रॉय होगा. दिस डायग्राम यू आर गोइंग टू ड्रॉ विच वी ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड. Question number 3. Study the diagram showing replication of HIV in humans and answer the following questions accordingly. तो ये डायग्राम आपको स्टडी करना है और आंसर देना है. What type of virus causes AIDS? Retrovirus. यहाँ पे which virus causes AIDS तो HIV लिखते हैं, लेकिन किस टाइप का वायरस एड्स कॉज कर रहा है ये पूछा है. तो HIV किस टाइप का वायरस है? इट्स अ रेट्रोवायरस. नेक्स्ट, नेम द एंजाइम B acting on X. तो यहाँ पे B देखो, name the enzyme B which is acting on X to produce C molecule. Name C. तो एंजाइम B बताना है. B क्या है? ये आपका X is your RNA, B is reverse transcriptase and C is viral DNA. Okay, so the enzyme B is reverse transcriptase and C is viral DNA. So they are not asking about X. They have asked about name the enzyme B and name C. Okay, ये 5 mark का question है, right? Now next, name the type of cells the AIDS virus enter into after getting in the human body. Human body में enter होने के बाद ये जो वायरस है वो किस सेल को अटैक करेगा? तो ये एनिमल सेल क्या था? मोनोसाइट, और यू कैन से मैक्रोफेजेस. Observe the life cycle of HIV given in diagram in question 1. So this diagram, okay? And answer the questions below. Retrovirus have no DNA. However, the DNA of the infected host cell does possess viral DNA. How is it possible? क्वेश्चन में ये बोल रहे हैं कि रेट्रोवायरस में डीएनए नहीं होता है, आरएनए होता है, लेकिन फिर भी द डीएनए जो होस्ट सेल है, इन्फेक्टेड होस्ट सेल है, उसमें वायरल डीएनए प्रेजेंट होता है. तो ये कैसे पॉसिबल है? ठीक है, सो ऑन इन्फेक्टिंग द होस्ट सेल जो वायरल आरएनए है वो ट्रांसफॉर्म होता है वायरल डीएनए में विद द हेल्प ऑफ एंजाइम रिवर्स ट्रांसक्रिप्टेज. So this is this viral DNA that gets incorporated in the host. ठीक है, रिवर्स ट्रांसक्रिप्टेज की वजह से। सेकेंड क्वेश्चन, नेम द ग्रुप ऑफ वायरसेस रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर कॉजिंग एड्स इन ह्यूमंस। नेम द ग्रुप ऑफ वायरसेस। तो क्या है? रेट्रोवायरस। Why are these viruses so named? Because they are having RNA genome. And reverse transcriptase is there. List any two ways of transmission of HIV infection in humans other than sexual contact. So, in the previous, we have seen other than sexual contact क्या था? Using of the not using disposable syringes or sharing of infected syringes by intravenous drug addicts, mother to fetus. So these two you can write. Infected blood transfusion, sharing syringes, needles, children born to HIV mothers. Trace the events that occur in human body to cause immunodeficiency when HIV gains entry into the body. आपको इवेंट्स यहाँ पे आपको फ्लो चार्ट के थ्रू पॉइंट वाइज यू हैव टू राइट, यू डोंट हैव टू ड्रॉ द डायग्राम, लेकिन अगर आपको लिखना नहीं आ रहा है तो डायग्राम ड्रॉ करेंगे तो भी चलेगा, ठीक है। सो आपको वो इवेंट्स बताने हैं जिससे इम्यूनोडेफिशिएंसी दैट कॉजेज इम्यूनोडेफिशिएंसी व्हेन एचआईवी गेन एंट्री इनटू द बॉडी। Okay. So these are the steps. First, the virus enters into macrophages. Then the RNA genomes get replicated and DNA is formed. Enzyme reverse transcriptase. Then macrophages continue to produce viral particles on large scale. फिर ये जो वायरसेस है वो मैक्रोफेजेस को छोड़कर किस पे अटैक करते हैं? हेल्पर टी लिम्फोसाइट में, एंड डज रेप्लिकेट एंड फॉर्म्स द प्रोजेनी ऑफ द वायरसेस. Hence, the body of the host or person becomes susceptible for multiple infections, including bacteria, virus, parasites like toxoplasm. Multiple infection may occur in the infected person, due to the failure of immune system. And due to this compromised immunity, the person may also die in full-blown AIDS condition. Next question. In India, horoscopes of girl and boy are matched before fixing marriage. ठीक है, हम कुंडली मिलाते हैं. But Smita was against this. Rather, wanted future groom's blood to be tested for HIV. स्मिता इसके अगेंस्ट थी, कुंडली मिलाने के अगेंस्ट थी, लेकिन वो चाहती थी कि जो उसका ग्रूम है उसको एचआईवी के लिए उसका ब्लड टेस्ट किया जाए. When asked for HIV test, the groom and his parents disagreed and left immediately. तो जब ग्रूम और उसके पेरेंट्स को बोला गया एचआईवी टेस्ट के लिए तो वो डिसएग्री हो गया एंड दे लेफ्ट द प्लेस. क्वेश्चन, was Smita wrong in wanting the future groom's HIV blood test done? I don't think so. So no. Write the name of test for AIDS. AIDS के लिए diagnostic test है ELISA and PCR. Why did Smita wanted to get the boys HIV test done? क्यों चाहती थी? क्योंकि HIV से AIDS होता है and it can spread through sexual contact. If the boy is HIV positive, she may get the virus. Her future baby may also suffer from AIDS. So she wanted to secure her life. That's why she wanted. Why did Smita? Okay. Next, which cells and tissues are affected by HIV? HIV से कौन से cells affected होते हैं? Macrophages and T helper cells. Which enzyme converts RNA to DNA? So that is reverse transcriptase. So, dear students, that is all about the topic AIDS. Hope you understood the concept very clearly. In our next class, we'll discuss about cancer. All the best for your exams.